I see myself very much a student still.
Artemis Joukowsky, this Katz, may I help you?
Well, I am not a filmmaker. I'm an advocate. That's really who I am. I'm an advocate, and I'm using filmmakers, and I'm using the craft of making films as a way to advocate for my position or my vision or what I'm trying to do in the world. In the case of my grandparents' story, Martha and Waitstill, I deeply believe in their courage, and I believe in their willingness to devote themselves 100% to saving others. It's a rare story in the world history that you have two Americans living in a small town who pick up from their lives and go off to another world and start saving people's lives that they've never met before. And I believe that their story should be told, so I become a filmmaker, not because I'm a filmmaker, but because I need to tell a story effectively, and film is the most powerful vehicle for telling stories. Well, from the time the Liebling program was initiated at Hampshire, I became a passionate supporter of the program. Not just raising money or supporting it programmatically, but actually becoming involved myself. And I have two bikes that were designed by Liebling students that I use on a regular basis. So I'm a beneficiary of the program. But what I love about the program, in all of its different fashions, is really the inspiration of students who are inventing products and services. I'm very interested in both the entrepreneurial side of creating something, but also the service side, what it actually produces, what value it creates. And Liebling has done a wonderful job at having partnerships between people who are disabled and inventors to work together to come up with solutions that are very low tech and inexpensive. Most people with disabilities don't have the income to afford expensive equipment. And much of the equipment, like this photograph here, you know, is hobbled together. It's put together by, you know, you take a tree or a stick or an old pipe, and before you know it, you got a leg. So, you know, I'm interested in anything that makes lives better for people with disabilities. My goal is to change the perception of people with disabilities and to open our way of seeing people with disabilities in a much broader way. Often there's a pity story about people who have disabilities, or there's a, you know, these are heroic people. And what I'm trying to do is say, no, these are everyday people. They're just like you and I. Their struggles and their achievements are just the same as ours, as anyone's. And that's why photography is so powerful, is that you're able to capture in a single image the whole story. You don't have to read a book or read the story. You see the image, and the image, you know, it kind of says the whole thing. It tells you what the story is about. Single. I was actually diagnosed with SMA, spinal muscular atrophy, when I was 14 years old. It was very difficult. I remember feeling very scared and sad and confused. But soon enough, I learned that, you know, it wasn't about complaining about it or talking about what I couldn't do, but really talking about what I could do. And really, this picture embodies that for me. This is my pre-college trip at Hampshire College, where I, for the first time in my entire life, hiked up a mountain. You can see I'm kind of holding my legs after a 20-mile hike. I've never been able to hike 20 miles really since then, but the fact that I could do it then was such an unbelievably empowering moment in my life, and Hampshire really gave me the support and the encouragement and also the tools to achieve that goal. You know, what happens with my disease is your legs, your arms, your backs, and then eventually your lungs become very weak because the nerves die and the muscles then atrophy. and eventually you die. And I have a very mild form of the disease, which allows me to still walk and still move around. But I do fall a lot, and when I was at Hampshire, I did fall a lot. And what I loved about Hampshire is, everyone just helped me stand up. I just always had a sense of community, that we were in this together, and I could never have made this pre-college trip without the help of 20 other people who were there for me the whole way. The thing I really love about Hampshire is that it's a place that's still creating itself. It's not done inventing its own style of learning, and so often learning becomes entrenched in traditions or in certain ways of doing things. And Hampshire is all about respecting the traditions, but also transcending them and making new traditions that make more sense given the current times or what's going on in the world. And I see myself very much a student still. I'm devoted to the process of learning. I'm devoted to the experience of building competence and of asking questions and of finding mentors and of learning from scratch how to do something, whether it's play ping pong or put together photography exhibits or write books or teach classes or hike up mountains or just live day to day. That I learned at Hampshire, and it still lives with me today.